Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion. Please abiding advice to get Afterbirth Plus. We're just gonna knock out another Eden run here, of course. Why not? Why not? Black Hole, great stats, MQT1 394P. And really, like, just been on riding a wave as far as Isaac goes. Can't really complain, dude. Can't really complain at all. I mean, like, I almost feel bad even bringing up that we can't even complain, because we had literally a damage stat of 50 on our last run, which is basically just like... It's like saying you won the Powerball lottery for $400 million and being like, well, can't complain. You're just like, yeah, no, not only can I not complain, look at that, too. I should be singing its praises from the rooftop, shouting it out, baby, I'm ready to go. You know that one? From the rooftop, shout it out. It's, look. Okay. It's a bad black market, but I think I will take the trinket box. It's just more interesting than Black Hole. Like, I think Black Hole is actually pretty good as far as items go, but it's not like, nobody's like, oh, you gotta watch this run, he's got Black Hole, you know? I think that the trinket, it has great upside. It actually is significant downside because it costs us a third of our HP to take it, but, you know, we're lucky enough to be in a position where we can afford that, right now at least. You never know how things will look a little bit later on, but... Ooh, help. And then half Spirit Heart there actually helps out a great deal. I think it should be more fun this way. You know, you never know how it's gonna go down. Anyway, still Friday, still having a good day. Cats are having a good day. Oh, for those, actually, I should mention it. Like, we're way behind schedule in terms of mentioning this. We did have some veterinary issues last week with Tomo, specifically gastrointestinally speaking. People have... It's something Dan has taught me. And I used to be like, why are you still asking me the question? I've answered, you know, no or yes 25 times already. You can never reach everybody all the time, right? So, if anybody out there is watching, they follow the veterinary stuff, they're concerned about Tomo, my man's crushing it. He was backed up. Oh, careful. You know what the term backed up means? He was constipated. We got him some anti-anxiety diffusers. We got him some pet laxatives. And my man, I'm happy to say, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. He's left some truly gargantuan presents for us in the litter box, and he's doing well. His demeanor is fine. So, you know, we're still, like, kind of on a wait-and-see approach, because we don't know what caused it in the first place, but... other than that, the man he's living his best life right now. I really wanted you to pay out there, but you know what? It is what it is. Let's use the question mark card. I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe safety cap is a little better for us. I'm very happy to be getting a cube of meat here. I think a cube of meat is basically like buying insurance here. Even if we don't get great damage, or, you know, damage that's an improvement on our already above average damage. Very happy to be in a position where at least we got a little protection there. But anyway, yeah, Tomo's doing okay. Ruka, fine as always. Everybody's happy and healthy. I knew it. As soon as I reacted a little too slowly and my brain went, you're hit. And that's exactly how it went down. That's okay. Although this is how every train wreck run starts, except we have above average damage, is with, you know, ruining your first floor deal with the devil. It doesn't mean that every run where we don't get a deal with the devil on the first floor is a train wreck. There's a different, like, there's an inversion there as far as, you know, the causal relationship goes. I'm still feeling pretty good. And hey, it's, you know, calm seas do not make for good sailors. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta be able to weather the storm. You gotta be able to handle the ups and downs. You gotta be able to reel in the Scattered away at the time. Are you scooted it boopity? I know the words. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you. It's from I Think You Should Leave. You know, we are getting to the point. I'm not saying it's coming soon. But in theory, you know, we're closing in on a year since the original release of Tim Robinson's I Think You Should Leave. I don't think Season 2 would come out a year after Season 1, because, you know, it's kind of an unreasonably quick return on your time, I think. Unreasonably quick turnaround, I should say. But you never know. Might be starting to close that gap. Makes me think I'm mighty sick. Okay. This should give us 2 store credit, by the way. I know that's not how it works, but in a just world, it would be. You know what? I'm actually going to get a little spicy here. Let's use one of our bombs to get enough money to buy a battery charge. Because the faster we get to a really good trinket, the better off we're going to be, right? Like, don't get me wrong. We got some positives. We've had some trinkets of middling or better quality, but we're really looking for, you know, 3 or 4 of the better trinkets in the game, at which point, you know, we're gonna have incredible rate of fire or incredible damage or a little bit of an all stats upgrade, or you get the idea. It's more along the lines of what I'm invested in right now. Pinky Eye, by the way, not one of those. Nose Goblin, though. Nose Goblin is one of those. The Cancer Trinket. Curved Horn. Cracked Crown. There's probably others. There's dozens of us. There's not dozens of us. There's like half a dozen, maybe. There's no way that's paying out. That's okay. This is still pivotal. It's still a big moment. If we can get a deal with the devil here, then all of our hand wringing is for naught. And generally speaking, I don't even think we need to use a bomb against this guy. I think we'll just let him hurt himself, probably. I mean, he almost did it right there. Or we can just kill him incredibly slowly. That's also fine by me. I'm not in any sort of rush. I mean, I am supposed to record a GeoGuessr episode with Sinvicta in 25 seconds. I'm just joking. I would never do that. I have a window. I will never... Well, there's like 2 tiers, okay? I will never start a video if I have to be at something, like a stream, for example, or, you know, Checkpoint League, or, you know, GeoGuessr recordings, stuff like that. I will never start a stream start another video within half an hour of any of those. At least not anymore. There have probably been times in my life where I have, but the one exception is Golden Goblet, because those videos are always shorter. Except Super Soccer, but I had a lot of time that day. Don't judge me. I always leave myself a 45-minute window. A 45-minute window is, it's almost always ample enough time. And the, you know, 1 out of 30 times it's not ample enough time, I just take that as the cost of doing business, to be honest. And you might be saying, I understand, I got a demographic out there that likes to solve problems. Why not just give yourself an hour? Well, you know, you can't, it's not a video game. You're not just taking an extra hour out of the ether, you know? The truth of the matter is, if I gave myself an extra hour instead of giving myself 45 minutes, I would sit around with 15 minutes of idle time almost every single time, to be honest with you. So, you know, you gotta take the... That's like, you know, if you were late for work once every 6 months, and I was like, well, why don't you just leave work at 6:30 a.m.? Then you're 100% guaranteed to get there. And you're like, yeah, but, you know, the vast majority of the time, I would be at work like substantially early and have, I don't want to say nothing to show for it, but you get what I mean, you know? We could have been more efficient with our time. It's a constant guessing game. And if you're like, well, that's the way my boss would react, okay, well then you have an obligation not to pass on your boss's harmful rhetoric to other people. Just because your boss is a jerk about it, that doesn't mean that's the way the world works, you know? That's just the way maybe Midwestern appliance repair and showroom stores between the ages of 45 and 70 feel. Don't put that on planet Earth. People are always like, oh, that's the way the world works. Is it, or is it just the way that, like, your boss talks about the world working because he's owned the used car dealership since 1981 and doesn't get out that much anymore? That's not worth it. That one's not worth it. I mean, I want 5 bombs, so if we can get a bomb, we'll walk it back. This is a scary floor. Like, we got a lot of up potential to go up. On this one, like an elevator that's in the parking garage. However, we're hoping for gains sooner rather than later, right? This is our deal with the devil floor. If we somehow screw that up, we got real problems. And we're also just constantly kind of waiting on the next trinket. The trinket that's really gonna finally, you know, take us to the upper echelons of goodness. Hello, Tiny. No, you're supposed to call him Jumbo. It's the classic rule. Oh, I like that. Thank you. It's the classic rule of Mafia nicknames. You're always named the opposite of what you are. Large men are called Tiny. Tiny men are called Jumbo. Man who will beat you to death with a hammer is called Knives for some reason. I don't understand it. I'm not a part of La Cosa Nostra. I've never been invited. Honestly, I think I would be a pretty terrible member of the Mafia to begin with. I think it's better that they do their thing and I kind of hang out on the other side of the... Not even really the other side of the law. Just like not even really in the law's purview. You know what I mean? Like if I was a character from Breaking Bad... I would not be Walt, or Jesse, or Gus Fring, or Mike Ehrmantraut. I would probably be like the guy who delivered the pizza that Walt threw on his roof. Or like, I would be the person driving the train that they heist the stuff from. I would just be living my life, I think. I would like to think. I mean, I kind of am, right? Like that takes place on planet Earth. I think we just go, honestly. I hate to leave behind the 5 bombs, but it is what it is. You know, not really worth fishing for in my world. You know, it's not like that's a fictional. I mean, it is a fictional universe in the sense that the events of Breaking Bad did not happen in real life. Not to say that they haven't happened, you know, in a similar fashion, but it's a fictional show, but it's based on the real world. So I'm kind of already a Breaking Bad character. Who am I? Ryan from the country just north of where Breaking Bad takes place. This is not just north. It is the closest country to the north, but still. It's a spicy one, right? Do you really want... I mean, I do want the cancer trinket. Full stop. But maybe it's worth taking Maggie's faith, knowing we're going to get HP out of that, and then, okay, sure, I'll come this way instead. Knowing we're going to get HP out of Maggie's faith, and then hoping that we've got enough of a long tail here to get better trinkets later. So we're never going to get, you know, the cancer trinket again, I believe. However, we could get trinkets that are the same magnitude of quality, but... I don't know. HP's usually easier to come by. But you're really just wondering, is this the 1 out of 10 times that it's not easier to come by? And, you know, it's one of those resources where everybody's like, you know, well, let's just put it this way. When it runs out, it's bad. It's like water. You know, most people are like, I don't really like water. I prefer orange juice. I'd rather just drink a Mountain Dew. You'll notice it if it's not there. It's one of those like, don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They iced up the taps, put in a Gatorade fountain. Bap bap. Bap bap. Good, very good. 2 bombs, honestly, I will do this. I think it's about the same expected value for getting a Spirit Heart as blowing up a Tinted Rock in 2020. There's so many busted tinted rock situations that I think I'd rather just blow up the blue fires. They're not going to pay out with a golden chest that eats a key and gives me a troll bomb. I'm starting to rework my whole supply chain for spirit hearts. Okay, deal? That's okay. Honestly, the speed is well worth it. And we still need both an item room and a shop. Well, we still need a shop. This run's good. Don't let me trick you, because I might start saying things like, oh, you know, our DPS could still use a little juice. I wouldn't say no. Actually, this is like the definition of a little juice right there. That's pretty okay. I wouldn't say no. I mean, there's still room to go up for sure. But I think this is good enough. My brain is just fried from having 50 damage on the last run, so that feels closer to average than what average actually is. This feels above average right now. Maybe not by a ton, but certainly by enough. Plus we have some guppy potential. Still early. I mean, it's still early in the guppy chain. We gotta, you know, it's not really early in the run anymore, but you get the idea. Yeah, I think we're happy with our existing trinket. I would swap it out for a couple of trinkets. Cracked crown, if it, well, I was gonna say if it put us at the tier cap, it might be not cracked crown, but it wouldn't because we'd lose 4 rate of fire just swapping. I mean, you know the list. You don't need me to tell you. I'm just trying to think if there's any goofy ones. I don't think there are. I would have to think about Nose Goblin because I really do like it. What I would love to do is get the ability to hold 2 trinkets now. That's like a genuine synergy. Okay, don't start walking into enemies. This is how you gotta notice problems upstream in your life, you know? If it's, if you're out on the town and you're starving, is it really, you know, anybody else's fault but your own? If you could have eaten a granola bar or a handful of cashews back at your office an hour and a half ago, but you went, nah, I don't need it. You know? If you have to go to the bathroom really bad 10 minutes into a road trip, is it anybody's fault but your own? If you had the opportunity to take a pee, but you're like, I'm a little lazy, I'll just bank on not having to go. I'll bank on metabolic processes not being relevant today. Let's try, but it's... okay, not worth it, not worth it. That's it, and I do that in Isaac all the time, you know? I use my orbital to do damage. Using my orbital costs me HP. And then I get to the womb, and I go... what the heck, dude? I got no HP. How am I supposed to do this? Well, you would have had HP if you treated every floor... well, you would have had a better chance of having HP. If you treated every floor like the womb, instead of just treating the womb like the womb. So we're going to try to be better about that. I can't promise, you know, it's an old habits die hard sort of thing. Old habits, comma, die hard. Try the second secret room. I could still use more HP. I wouldn't turn up my nose because I got a problem with his baggy clothes. He was a skater boy. You know the lyrics. You don't need me to go much deeper than that. That's worth it, as long as you pick it up at least. And it's tricky. I would like the flies, but I definitely think double DPS it's on a better level right now. But yeah, I mean, I pride myself on at least being responsible. Not with everything necessarily in my life, but I do look for problems upstream. That's why, like, I mean, not that people are doing a whole lot of traveling right now, but that's why, like, my rules for travel were always so very simple, you know? If you want to be happy when you're traveling, I think there's a simple recipe. Never turn down an opportunity to go to the bathroom, especially if you find, like, a clean and comfortable one that's readily available. No one has ever been like, oh man, today was good, but it would have been like even better if I hadn't gone to the bathroom. Realistically, I could have urinated one last time today, you know? Doesn't happen. Never turn down an opportunity to eat. You can eat to the point of being uncomfortable, but it's much easier to regulate on that side than to be like, nah, I'm not hungry right now. Because you don't know. It might be another 7 hours before you get a chance to eat. These are just simple rules for me. Maybe your rules are different, to be fair. Everybody's different. Yo, this is a big room. First off, yes. Secondly, yes. Although, I guess with the chariot, we don't necessarily need that extra HP, but... What do you got for me, sir? A pill. It could be worse. It's not that bad. You're gonna pay out? A pill. Alright, you're starting to annoy me. Andros has ordered me to take you down. Yo, there we go. Contract from below. Let's buy the bomb. Let's buy the pill. No, no, no. Go, 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 go. Okay. Emergency contacts. I really just wanted the death card. That's just looking at upstream problems, you know? And it ties back in. I got a very simple mindset. You know, I don't think anybody has a simple rule for life, if that makes sense. I know I said that earlier, but, you know, I have like a philosophy that underpins some of my thinking. And it's really like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's taken me a long time to come to that lesson, but I really appreciate it now, especially as I get older, you know? When you're young, you're a little bit more, I mean, not that I'm not young, but, you know, when you're younger, you're a little bit more resilient. When I was 10, if I, like, fell down and got a cut on my knee, you know, it healed, I swear to God, it was like Wolverine. It healed in, like, 24 hours. And you go, don't look at me like that. You amaze me. Let's see what we get here. Oh, baby! Let's go. That's huge. When I was 20, well, it was like 22. I think we skipped our item room, but we also have brimstone and no map, so I'm just out of here. I was teaching, right? And I had to go from the 4th floor to the 6th floor. Rather than wait for the elevator, I was like, I'm a big boy. So I took the stairs. While climbing the stairs, I fell and, like, hurt myself pretty badly. Like, right on my shin, it felt like I took a piece of the, like, I dented the bone or something, right? But I had to teach. So I just, you know, put on a happy face, taught the class. I still, to this day, have, like, a little divot in my shin. I think if I had that same fall now, at 31, they might just have to take the leg. I don't know. I don't know how medicine works, but, I'm thinking that whole leg might be a goner. Help. I don't want butter. Well, rather than margarine, sure, but... As an adult, you know, you notice problems coming. Like, here's one that happens to me probably, like, once every 3 months. Now, this is like we're playing with fire here. But there were years on YouTube, on, you know, Twitch... I got sick maybe 4 to 5 times a year, which is crazy high. Really? Over the last, like, 18 months, I've been sick 1 time. I was sick in July of 2019 for a few days. And I'll tell you, I think I'm not saying that I have some kind of supernatural power. For one, I'm not really in a high-risk group. I don't interact that much with people outside, to be honest. And on top of that, like, I also... I mean, like, to be fair, I do go to the gym and stuff like that, so I'm sharing equipment with people, but I honestly think one of the things that's helped out a lot is that sometimes, you know, randomly, I'll get really, really tired at, like, 8:30 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Normally don't go to bed till, like, 12:30. And I'll be like, whoa, that's weird. I'm really tired. When I was a little bit younger... I would be like, well, that's going to be uncomfortable as I stay up until my usual time anyway so I can watch, you know, an episode of whatever. Over the past couple of years, when I feel that, I'm like, I think my body's telling me to go to sleep. So I just go to sleep early, sometimes a couple hours early. Usually wake up around the same time, and I'm like, I feel a lot better. I don't know, it's just a hunch, because I know that, you know, diseases are not caused by, like, you know, bad feelings. They're caused by germs, but sorry if that's controversial, by the way. It's not. I'm just being a jerk. A jerk who's right, but a jerk nonetheless. Yeah, it all feeds back into this. Like, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, you know? That's why I've gotten into the habit, and admittedly, this is a luxury. I'm not trying to say that, like, everybody's in the same position here. But, like, you know, I'll get, like, a bill. Like, I'll get our hydro bill, which is what we call, like, utilities up here. And it's like, it's not due for 3 weeks. And I'm like, that's cool. I immediately pay it. Because I would much rather just pay it. It's not like it takes any less time to do it if you wait. You know, you're not winning. You're actually just setting yourself up for a loss. Of course, obviously, that's unless you need the time to actually gather the money for yourself. But just good habits, you know? Things they'll help you out, I promise. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. I know I told you not to believe me earlier. But, like, believe me on this one. The run is good. It may be great, but it's not quite there yet. The brimstone is super nice, but now we honestly don't need rate of fire much. For real, I think we're much better off with this. And now I'm still gonna finish what I was saying there, but now it falls on deaf ears because we're gonna win probably pretty easily. Keep in mind, we didn't get brimstone, just for the record. If you think we got brimstone, we didn't get brimstone. We got sack altar and took 2 items out of the equation in order to get brimstone. Dude, that was so good for our score. We're gonna set a new score record for sure. But what I was gonna say is, you know, it's really like, brimstone is amazing. It's such a good damage amplifier, but it relies way more on your damage stat than on your tier stat. So, for us, this would be a great time to amp up our damage. Earlier, I was going to say we could sack our tiers for damage. Now, psychologically, it's like we don't need to sack our tiers for damage. Instead, we'll just maybe get some damage. That would be cool. Like, Mini Monstro is actually still at the point where it's doing a ton for us, which I'm very grateful for, don't get me wrong. Oh, that was close. You could tell there was some panic plays in there. Now, don't forget about Yera. I say I'm going to do this, I don't always do this, but with Yera, don't necessarily force yourself to hold it. There we go. We had a good opportunity there. Instead, you could always use it to just give yourself some more survivability. I mean, it's really like, you can't live your life by a single idiom. There are probably some times where, like, I'm struggling to think of a situation where it would come to pass, but I bet there are times where, like, the cure is not worse than the prevention. I'm trying to, like, a good example is, like, if you wanted to avoid getting the common cold, maybe. It's not possible. Maybe if you wrapped yourself in a bubble like Jake Gyllenhaal in the 2002 movie Bubble Boy. Which it's surreal to me that Jake Gyllenhaal is in that, but anyway. This is way back in the day, before we knew Jake Gyllenhaal was, like, an incredible actor, and we were just like, hey, he's that weird-looking kid. Grew into a very handsome man. But you're like, you know, I don't know about you, I'd rather get a cold or 2 a year than live my life in a plastic bubble like track 1 on Paul Simon's seminal album, Graceland. But in a lot of situations, it's all about, like, procrastination, right? I always think about, like, brushing your teeth. You know, if you're having trouble brushing your teeth, I don't know if a logical argument is what you need in order to get you there. But if you're gonna brush your teeth anyway, you might as well do it ASAP Schrader. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't change the amount of time it's gonna take. All it changes is how long you're gonna have gross breath and a weird feeling mouth. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like, dude, like, this is now getting a little bit boomer-esque, and I apologize for that. But that's the reason, like, when I talk to other people that do this job and they complain about taxes, which is fair, it's something people complain about, right? It's a luxury to have to pay tax in a way, because it means you're doing okay. But at the same time, it is annoying, especially when you're, like, a young adult. Like, writing a check for taxes is going to be like more expensive than anything you've ever purchased for yourself in your whole life sometimes. But I'm always like, you know, my #1 tip is just pay quarterly or pay monthly, dude. Because I don't know about you, but psychologically, and I've done it both ways, I would much rather... Oh, dude, Guppy, let's go. It just feels less apocalyptic to write 12 checks for 1/12 the value each than to write 1 check for the entire value. Maybe not everybody feels the same way, but I'm like, you know, I know on a philosophical level, on a mathematical objective level, it's the same, but there's just something about, you know, writing 12 somewhat smaller checks. I know you're like, who does checks anymore? I do, okay? I can't even explain why I like them. It's just, I don't know, it's something about the routine, I guess. Also, one time I paid online and the tax agency put it into the wrong designation, and I got a letter that was basically like, hey, you owe us more money than you've ever seen in your life, and I was like, actually, I gave that to you over the course of the past several months, and they're like, oh, okay, my bad. But anyway. It feels less, I don't want to say bad, because I don't feel bad paying it in the first place, but it feels less like, oh my god, that's what is that number? Guess that doesn't do anything for us here. Yeah, just use all of your sad bombs instead of the money that's not going to do anything for you to get through this. Hello, Bumbo. The bombs are their money, so are the worms. Okay, so I'm thinking like you're just going to drop this bad boy down right here. And then when you get taken care of, we're going to do the same thing. I don't even know what I'm talking about. This is why we shouldn't do like 4 Isaac episodes in a day. First 2 were slappers. After that, I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. Hey, you all doing your taxes? Are they even going to do that this year? I don't know. Yes, they will. Help. I can't see. Dude, I'm telling you, this is the year of blue fires. In Isaac, I've learned to respect blue fires more than tinted rocks. Tinted rocks show up earlier, I'll admit, but were it not for that bit of reality, were it not for that fact, I would be right, and you know it. If you ignore the facts and realities of the situation, I'm usually right. Okay, drop one of these right on Main Street. This run ended up turning out. I'm very happy. Still, I mean, 4.32 damage is a little bit of a bummer, but, I mean, it's not that much of a bummer once you consider the fact that we've got Guppy going on as well. Satanic Bible showed up at, like, exactly the right time to get things done. We're sitting pretty. Might even have time to check my email before the GeoGuessr episode. I won't have time to reply, but I'll be able to check it. I guess we're going this way. Dude, I can't tell you how happy I am as well to be on a good run in Isaac. Again, it had been not a while, but we've been kind of like, you know, 3 loss, 7 loss, 2 loss, you know? It feels nice to be back in the groove. I look at it like, there's such a good metaphor for this I'm trying to figure out. You know, like when you're playing, I was gonna go with like rhythm games, but I'm not sure if that's a great example. Like skiing is an okay example. You know, when you get into the groove, you find the groove. I'm sorry, this is like you're witnessing a man trying to learn how to speak again after his brain is falling apart. No, it's like sometimes you just get into a good rhythm with things. I really feel like that's Isaac, you know? Oddly enough, the weirdest example is like Mario Maker, you know? When I've been playing through Apollo's levels, like, you know, the first couple of attempts usually are just complete disasters, but then once you get into a rhythm, you're just going, yeah. You know, you're not necessarily doing super well on every single one, but every single one of them, you're like, okay, I'm not making as many dumb mistakes. You know, you get into a rhythm that's nice, and I think that, you know, even just like going to your job might be a good example here. Like for me, making videos is a good example. Usually the first video of the day, not bad, but I'm still working out like some commentary kinks, but by like the third or fourth video of the day, you know, I'm starting to flow a little bit more easily. You get into the rhythm, you get into the groove. You've got to prove your glove to me. It's Madonna, sweetheart. Look it up. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. We're at 16 wins in a row. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.